Presented this way, so I'm actually walking and driving and talking with Sean Baker. This is the day after your world premiere day, I guess.
Yes.
And so it's very apropos since your characters are in constant flurry and flush and going all over the place. So the first question, I have for you is with concerns to the screenplay, how does the specific chosen location, how did that inform you and Chris's template?
Well, this could have taken place. The actual story of this mother doing whatever she can do to keep a roof over her child's head could have happened anywhere in the United States. It's the motel life situation that's going on that has pretty much kicked in since the recession and the housing bust, housing boom bust. That situation has
it's propagated everywhere.
Exactly.
It's multiplied. It's not.
Yes. And
it's not exclusive to that area.
It's not exclusive. However, it's that proximity, the close proximity to the theme parks and specifically, Disney World that makes this the irony extreme. Right?
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with children and yet they're right outside this place that we associate so much with children and the quote unquote most magical place on earth. And so that's really why obviously we chose this location. The Route 192 has from from a cinematic point of view, from the director's point of view, there's a lot of eye candy because what happened is that these motels were once tourist motels, and they actually they basically borrowed the Disney style and mythology and in order to attract tourists. So they were multicolored and they usually were themed. And in this case,
very candy-colored.
You have a magic
existence.
castle. You have a Futureland. Futureland is a ripoff of Tomorrowland. Anything that would
a
remind
faux synthetic.
People. Exactly. So I knew that there would be this wonderful visual element that was just given to me. This almost automatic production design. And then on top of that you have these Floridian colors that again are just given to you as a gift and that don't really exist for me. Very unique to Florida. I mean, you have those pastelly palette where you have these wonderful pinks and greens and purples and yellows and my wonderful cinematographer Alexis Zabe would really just embrace these and enhance them to just a hair, but
so we both loved his work in post Tambria Lux.
Yes.
And you worked with them previously on a short.
And Silent Light. Silent Light was actually
that's
probably a little more of the reason that I grabbed them, just because of the widescreen cinematography and the use of the real anamorphics. But also his if you've seen his work in music videos, and there's that real pop sensibility that he has as well.
Okay.
So I was kind of looking for a mashup between perhaps like sort of that perhaps I could maybe call it realism. I don't know, the naturalism of maybe Silent Light, but then I wanted his pop sensibility as well, because I guess after Tangerine, people
they're almost
seem to appreciate this pop verite thing that went on with that, and we really wanted to just continue that. We felt it worked in Tangerine, and we were going to try something very similar with the Florida project, but still mixing it up. I didn't want to do the exact same thing. I wanted to see how film would working on actual film, how that would change things up and give it its own unique thing. I didn't want to just say this is Tangerine in Florida. I wanted to find something new in that pop verite field in order to...
So let's talk about the protagonist. And this not your first time working with children actors.
Right.
Um,
But it sort of is. I've worked with children in TV, but my only child that I work with, the only children I've worked with before in my features are toddlers. You know, they're not.
They're not on the same level. Like,
right. I mean, you know.
So what kind of world do you create with them in order to get what you're looking for specifically? Like, there's a lot of choice moments that this character lives. There's a lot of choice dialogue that she delivers. What kind of a world do you have to create? Perhaps
Well, it has to be fun. It really has to. It has to keep their interest, because kids get bored, kids get tired, and I'm taking their summer away. So I better provide them with basically a summer camp.
Stimuli heavy.
Yeah, and I think we did. I really do feel they got the experience of a lifetime with this, because, well, first off, for little Christopher, every day he was getting to go to work with the Green Goblin, which blew his mind. Okay. but just for the and the girls became best friends, which was really wonderful, and they're still best friends to this day. So there was a real. I think they had fun, which is really what it comes down to. I had an act for the first time I've ever worked with an acting coach. Samantha Kwan. I needed her just in case. I didn't know how things were going to go with the kids, and so I brought on Samantha Kwan, who's an actress herself, but knows how to has taught
sort of
children.
Harness.
Yeah, and to see if we needed. Like I actually spoke to So Young Kim about her work on Treeless Mountain.
Yeah.
And like how, and I remember her. I haven't talked to her for a while, but when the film came out, I talked to her about it.
2008.
Yep. And wow, you're good. And then she told me that there were games that were played.
Okay.
So I knew that in order for the kids not to look at the camera and just to get them into character, you needed to play games. And I didn't know which games. So I had to. So Samantha came on board and really figured this out. It's a bunch of exercises and workshops, but they never came across as work to the kids. Playtime and good craft service. After a while, we had to cut out the sugar, though.
Yeah, I
Trust
imagine
me,
there's a lot of candy involved.
Yeah, because regular craft service, as you know, is normally a bunch of junk food. So after we learned the hard way that had to be hidden from them. And they were also eating a lot of ice cream. So after that first day in which they ate ice cream, we were like, oh no, from now on, sugar-free ice cream. They'll never know.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no. They even had, it was like if they were eating candy, they were eating sugar-free candy. But anyway, you asked how it was just about keeping them interested and keeping them awake. I mean, they would get bored very easily or lose their energy very easily. And we had to learn that, especially shooting with 35 millimeter, usually for me, it takes about 3 takes to start figuring out where we're going with the scene. I like to actually roll the camera on sometimes on some what would normally be a rehearsal. I'm running the camera on, and you can't really do that as much with the kids. No, you got to show them. Well, first off, these kids are really wonderful, and they are acting. I mean, they really got. I mean, Brooklyn is a born actress. Very clear with what they did. Where they're going. So, and safety's sake as well. You have to be. You have to be like, okay, you can't just say, I want you to go around the corner and run up the street. You have to say, I want you to do this. Run around this corner and run up the street. Come on, do it with me.
Physically.
So that was necessary, and that took time, and it also dictated the way we worked, because we had to make sure that we sometimes brought in some body doubles. And that we were also body doubles because of the amount of hours we were able to work with them. There's actually a few body double shots that made it into the film. I don't think anyone would ever notice. Like in the 99-cent store where she goes, she wants that cotton.
Okay.
The cotton ball. She goes, okay, cotton balls. That's not, if you look closely.
Okay.
That's not even Brooklyn. But anyway, so yeah, it was a learning experience, and I really it wasn't as. I mean, it was hard for Sam and hard for her team because they had to deal with the times when the kids didn't feel that well, or
of course,
or had a
watch out, right
yeah,
here.
yeah, or just like basically they weren't having a good day for whatever reason. I didn't have to deal with that as much because I was off shooting something else with Willem or whatever. But it was a real learning experience.
I love this character.
Oh, thank you. That's
and what I specifically liked about how you wrote this character in is that whatever backstory does exist, it's not implicitly discussed or mentioned. There's a couple of scenes with Caleb that informs us about a past that he's had, but it's through his actions where we really learn or get a sense of like where he is at in his life and why he has that connection, why he cares so much about not only this resident but everybody else. Some people mention father figure, but I think it's just he's been at that place, or perhaps is still in that
place,
and so what I liked is just the subtleness about this character. I was wondering what kind of dialogues did you have with him? I mean, harnessing your first major player, what kind of conversations did you have with him with regards to this character?
Well, we he had time actually to come in a little bit earlier and meet with some motel managers to just sort of absorb them, he wanted to become a Florida man, and I think he really did. I mean, we had a Floridian color timer on our film, Sam Daly, who colors all Borderlines films, and he said to me near the end, he's like, this was only 2 or 3 weeks ago because we were coloring up to before coming here, and I remember he turned around and he goes, guys, I'm originally from Florida, I'm a Floridian. And we were like, oh no, what is he gonna say about the film? And he goes, and that guy, and he pointed to Willem on the big screen, that's a Florida man. He nailed it. I'm like, okay, great, wonderful, that's great. But
so he had a sense of the DNA of
he's such an incredible talent that he was able to absorb and transform. And he came to us with a list of accessories he wanted. He wanted those bend around sunglasses. He asked for a certain watch and necklace that I don't even know if we really even see that closely in the film, but it helped him, and it helped him get there, and it added to the character. But yeah, regarding the backstory, we talked a lot about it, but we were also vague ourselves, because I think that it was, at least from I don't know how much he developed in his head, but I actually wanted to be just as much in the dark about his backstory as the audience, even though I'm the writer. I knew that he had pain, I knew there's been loss, I knew there was some sort of estrangement from his wife. Who knows if they're totally divorced or separated, but I do know that it affected his family and it affected his son, and he doesn't have, even though we see them only move 2 pieces of, a bed and a nice machine, we still understand that, hey, listen, they're not patting each other, they're not hugging on there's still the tension between the two, and he's trying to hold on to perhaps a family that he's losing, and just like he's losing sometimes the families that he looks after at the motel. And then of course there are more subtle, hopefully.
Oh, it's all subtleties. I think
good,
it's that's how that character comes across. It's just it's the reason why he has that inherent connection to people that he shouldn't have cared about a long time ago is based on that. Is based on there's something more to. I mean, the idea of caretaker. The word care is like, it's very much embedded in how he takes over that entire lot, and specifically one scene where he's overseeing the children when they're not being properly supervised. I think
also he's a very, we did talk about loneliness. I mean, obviously it's almost a self-imposed loneliness though. I feel
exile.
He's he could probably live outside the motel, but why not take advantage of the free room that it's going to give? He lives in room 101. He never leaves the property. We never see. We actually did Willem and I talked about perhaps we show him one night by himself eating at the local Taste of Punjab. There's a lot of like Indian restaurants in the area because of a local Indian American population, and we thought that might be sweet. But then we thought, no, you know what? He's so committed to this job, and this is really all he has at this point, and we'll never see him leave the property.
The moments of reprieve that he has from a long day of just being assaulted, cigarettes on the balcony.
Yeah.
Those shots are majestical. It's because it adds to like whatever weight he's carrying and whatever additional weight he's carrying. This is the one moment where he's like, sound off. He's pressing on the off switch.
Yes.
And Alexis's work there is just it's just crazy. Those shots. It's
nice.
like.
That's nice.
It like harkens back to what he did with Carlos.
And then also he's still on duty.
Oh,
He's
for
still
sure.
doing his rounds.
For
Even
sure.
though he's taking a break. He's still doing his rounds and keeping his eyes open for things that might be amiss. Yeah.
Well,
But he was great to work with. I mean, incredible and patient, and he was really the one recognizable face in the film. I mean, Caleb and Macon are rising.
Yeah.
But he was the one that basically your average moviegoer will recognize. So that was the